Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be about having a black child and he's autistic and the signs that we knew. So at his 18-month pediatrician, they do the assessment and you answer questions, and based on that they told me you have to go to Children's Specialized Hospital to do some testing. He used to crawl on one leg. He would respond to his name a little bit. He was always a smiley baby, always smiling. It was this one instance where we went to DC for my mom's birthday and we went to the museums, but he was not responding well to the environment. But you know, babies, it's just like, oh, like he's a baby, he's getting irritated, frustrated, but we didn't know exactly what was the issue, so we just kind of dealt with that. We went to Florida for my sister's birthday, and he didn't really eat. He ate a little bit of rice and then he threw up, but we noticed that he didn't really eat anything. And same thing at my mom's party. At my mom's vacation. He didn't really eat, and we noticed that, but we never knew why. Once again, you just think, oh, he's a baby, new environment, everything's gonna be okay. Finally, at 2.5 years old, he was diagnosed. And when he went to daycare, about like 1.5, because we kept him home the first year. So around maybe 1.5, we decided to put him in school. So, and they will come back saying, oh, Carter's hitting. But we found out he was hitting due to communication. That was his way of communicating. So the director of his school was nice enough to say, hey, early intervention, to give them info there. And she was like, go through them and see what they say. And that's exactly what we did. He was able to get help through them. They came to the home. You're able to be there during a session, so whatever they do, you have to mimic, so you see results and you see that your child's doing better. So we went through early intervention, and then we register him for preschool. And when you go from early intervention to preschool, you have to tell them that your child was in early intervention and give them the reports from early intervention. So when when they're in public school, they get the right services. That's exactly what he did. So pre-K3, he was able to get OT, and he was able to get OT and speech. And then COVID happened. So that put us back because he wasn't doing good. Virtually, he didn't understand why he had to sit in front of a computer. Like, it was all bad. So I basically took him out of school without taking him out of school. Like, we didn't do the virtual instructions. I just did the best I could, and we took him out still a little bit during COVID, a little bit, so he could get some fresh air and, you know, start conversing with us. And I did a lot of home activities and stuff. So that's how we found out. So he was diagnosed with autism at 2.5 years old. He is 6 now. He turned 6 April 2nd. So he's about to go to kindergarten. And it's been tough, but it's been better, if that makes sense. Like, early on, it was a struggle. Now it's so much better. Like, it's still improvement needs to be made, but it's a lot better. I would say early intervention is a big help. Making sure he get the services that he need via school is a big help. Like, since he got speech since pre-K, he graduated from speech, so he no longer needs speech services in kindergarten. He no longer needed that. And the way that he spoke before, barely speaking, to now, you would think he spoke his whole life. Like, I'll probably make a video with him up here one day. And now he's getting OT with the motor skills. And then he's in an inclusion class. So he has a general education teacher, a classroom para, and then he has a resource teacher for math and English for 45 minutes. And then he has OT. Um, I would say, as a Black parent, as have an autistic Black child, you always want to advocate. I don't care if you have to see the principal, see the superintendent all through the school year. Just advocate. Oh, let me say something. Being autistic is not a bad thing. Like, you know how in a Black community we just raised to say, oh, nothing's wrong with my child. My child's fine. Nothing's wrong with my child. Or yeah, I'd be like, oh, this child is slow. This child's a retard. No, it's none of that. If your child's autistic, they are the brightest things, the brightest people ever. Like, Carter's favorite thing is dinosaurs. And when I tell you he can name every dinosaur in the whole, in like in a dinosaur world, and you just like, wait, that's a dinosaur. He could literally tell you dinosaurs. He speaks. He's doing well. He could write his name. Like, they are the most intelligent people. Like, he could go get a waffle from the freezer and he could put it in a toaster oven all by himself. He'll come to you and tell you that he did it all by himself. So we're letting him become independent. So there's no shame to be on a spectrum as a Black community. As a Black community, we need to stop doing it. Don't white folks, they have no problem getting their kids the resources that they need. So us Black folks, we have to stop being ashamed. Get the services that your child need now as a little, because as they get older, it's going to become worse. So you always want to prepare your child, if they need help, to get it while they're younger. So as they grow, the more help they get, like the more help they could get as they get older, and they're going to be perfectly okay. We need to stop having shame in saying that my child's autistic, or saying that something's wrong with my child. If you say something's wrong with your child and they're young, you're going to get all the services that you need, and everything's going to be okay. Yes, it's a long road. Let me tell you this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a very long road. It's a tiring road. It's a tough road. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, you are getting the resources that your child needs. And you're going to be grateful that you took that step. Let me say this again. It's no shame of being on the spectrum as a Black person. There's no reason why. Matter of fact, it's even good to know if your child has a kid. As they get older, it's going to be more difficult, and they're going to be wondering why they feel so different, or wondering why they feel so weird, or they can't fit in. And because you didn't take those steps when they was younger, and now as an adult, they're suffering. Now in high school, they're suffering. Now in college, they're having burnouts and they're suffering. Get the help that your child needs. Yes, it's going to be tough because, one, they're Black and they don't take you seriously. Two, it's hard to find resources. You have to Google resources like I did. You have to Google resources because you're Black and they don't want to help you. Yes, but as long as you took that step as a parent to advocate for your child, to Google, to do whatever you have to do so your child get that services, that's what you should do. Because let me tell you, I'm 25 now. When he got diagnosed, I was 23. Was I ready for it? No. I got pregnant at 19. Nobody tells you you're going to have an autistic child. That's not in testing. That's not in nowhere. So I was 23 dealing with this. I'm now 25. I have a nonprofit for this. I advocate for my son. I advocate so much the superintendent knows my face, knows my child, and knows I have no problem going to the board meetings. I have no problem speaking up for my child. 3, I made sure he got the services that he needs so he could succeed. I don't care if the school try to blow you off. If the school try to blow you off, you go up. The more up you go, the more serious they're going to take you. So if you got to complain to the state about how they're not treating your child, or they're not giving the child the services that you think they need, or they're not listening to you, you complain to the state, because that's what I did. I complained to the state and have a mediation coming up. So always advocate for your child. There's nothing wrong with having a Black autistic child. You are your child's biggest advocate. So social wise, he still has issues. but we work on it as he gets older, um as he get further along. He do have a younger sibling. He has a little sister. She's 3, and they have a love-hate relationship. You know how brothers and sisters, or their siblings in general, relationship. And yeah, so I just wanted to come up in here and say how we knew that he was autistic, and the early intervention process in the school process. Also, do not let these schools play games with you, because they try to play games with me. Kindergarten has been the worst year for us so far, and they try to play games with me, but they can't get over me. I complained to the state. The governor knows my complaint. The governor office knows my complaint. I don't play that. If you guys ever need help, if you feel distraught, you could email me. I'll leave my email in the link. I also have a Facebook group. It's called All About the Spectrum, and you'll see Carter's face. You're gonna see Carter's face when he was a little bit younger, in a black t-shirt. If you're nearby, if you're in New York, you're in New Jersey, if you're in the tri-state area, I do have my nonprofit organization Instagram. I'll leave that in the description below. But if you ever need help, if you ever need to know what to do next, you can email me. The link, my email will be in the description. And I'm also working on becoming a parent advocate. I have to take some classes and stuff. So I want to be a parent advocate and an autism life coach to help the families and to help the children, especially the families, because the families be all worked up. Like, trust me, I understand. So yeah, if you want to support, because in order for me to run my programs for free, in order for me to continue to do things for free.com, I also need support. So we do have t-shirts, and I do have an ebook about how to go about it when your child is first diagnosed. Right now it's for $1. It's about to go up to 20. The ebook about to go up for $20, but right now it's $1. So go get it while you can. And yeah, and that's how we find out that he's autistic. And that's my little background. That's my story. So, and also subscribe. I might do some day in the life, or when we take him out, I'll tell you guys some tips that I do when we go out. So if you want to stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 1,000 followers. Let's help this mama out. Okay, and see you soon.